Welcome to this edition of Buncombe Life. I think you'll find it very interesting. We're going to tell you some stuff that you may have heard about, may not have. I kind of bet you haven't, because the word's not really on the street yet about what you're doing, is it, John?
No, it's really not. I mean, we've been to City Council and Downtown Review, but there hadn't been a whole lot of public stories about it at all.
Not a lot of talk. I'm here with our Assistant County Manager, Planning Director, Jon Creighton, and we're going to tell you some changes. Where I'm standing right now, let's see, by the time they see this, will this be gone or will it still be here?
We're going to do an early release package in the end of October where we're going to be doing a lot of utility work, and we're going to be taking down the annex, and there'll be a lot of things moving around in the area just as far as construction, digging up the streets and those kind of things.
Yeah, that's what we want you to know. That's what we're going to talk about here. We're standing in the parking lot of the old Board of Elections building. They're not there anymore. They're over at 35 Woodfin Street, kind of doing the everybody's moving thing.
That's exactly right.
And pretty soon, the Board of Elections building right in front of us here, we'll show you, is going to come down. Right?
That's right.
Right? We're going to come back to that in a minute. But it's going to come down so some new construction can happen, and that's what we're going to talk about. Life Safety Tower. That has been talked about in this county, I know, for 25 years. I can remember when I first came to the county, they talked about putting a fire escape on the back of the courthouse so that the upper floors could get in and out better. $1 million. Well, we never did it. Never did it. Finally moved the jail out, built the new jail, but now we're going to do, truly, it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to really happen this time, that's for sure. What has happened really back in the 90s, the building codes changed as far as high rises, and that's what we have here. Is obviously we've got a high-rise building.
An old one, but
a very old one. It's over 80 years old, and it came to the point where, you know, the inspections department and the Department of Insurance were starting to have issues with us renovating the building and not having really approved means of evacuation or exit stairs. The stairs we have in there, as you know, they call them winders. They're like a corkscrew. So every time, you want to go up and down the building, you've got to go with these pie-shaped treads.
Yeah, and they're very narrow, and it's really a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it's a 1920s design that's not allowed anymore. So, we had to address that issue. I think if you've been doing business in the courthouse over the years, we have very antiquated elevators. They don't work half the time. They just cause issues. So we're going to build an addition that people will see on the back side of the courthouse and go up the 8 stories on the back. And it's going to have fire escapes, 4 new elevators, and also restrooms.
Oh,
so
that's a good thing.
Yeah, we don't have restrooms on every floor in the courthouse, so.
And they're behind the elevators, and you kind of got to search them out. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
But that's going to improve. So Davidson Street, which is the street that runs into the detention center here, is going to close?
Yes, we've gone before City Council and they've approved the closing of Davidson Street. Now, you'll still have access to the jail. The law enforcement will still have access to the vehicular sally port that's over here beside us. Right. But the main reason for the closing of that is that we're going to put a future courts building across the street right here in front of college. And
we're going to come back to that. But all this is they're going to begin to see happening as they're watching this. It won't be long till all this starts happening. This building will come down, that will close. And you said a lot of the reason you got to do that tower is because of the renovation inside the courthouse. Some of those folks have already moved out. Tax has moved to 35 Woodfin Street. Register of Deeds.
In October, in January.
January, they're going to move out.
That's right.
And what's going to take their place inside the courthouse?
Well, we're going to be moving some people around with this Life Safety Tower addition. I mentioned before it goes up 8 floors.
Right.
Then the renovations or additional towers and elevators will happen inside the building. Historically, you don't want to mess with as much, I guess, as least as possible of the outside of the building. But when you get into that column design that's on the top of the courthouse, we talked to the historical people. They really didn't want us running an addition up there. So what happens on the 8th floor, everything goes in, new elevators, and then the stairwells will go all the way up to 15. In that process, we're going to be taking out some courts and that's where the third floor renovations come in. We move taxes out, then at that point, we're going to start renovating the third floor and putting in 2 new courtrooms.
Right. Well, how about where the old jail was, up on top?
Up there, we'll be taking all that steel out, and we're going to, in turn, those will be offices when we get finished. Wow. And we'll have offices up there probably a year and a half.
That is that's going to really expand. I didn't realize you were going to put offices on top. Expand what you can do in the courthouse.
Oh yeah, you know, long term, we're going to put a courts addition here, but you know, this will still be Superior Court. We'll still have some courtrooms there, but you're going to find the future courthouse being more of an office building, and then the courts part of it being the courtroom part will be over here.
So a court complex is what you're eventually going to have right here with the detention facility.
Exactly.
So all that renovating, we get the tax out, register of deeds out, and then you're going to build the court complex, and that goes here?
That goes where we're standing. What will happen is that on the first phase, in late October, we'll start to see construction around, being, you know, new water lines, moving electrical lines. Then shortly after that, you're going to see this whole Sallyport area that, you know, right here in the first story will be torn off. And then the first of the year, you'll start seeing where that life safety tower will start going up on the back of the courthouse. And we're anticipating at that point, by midsummer, that addition, August, should be up. It's part of that early release package where you see the water lines and stuff. We're also going to be demolition, or doing demolition to the annex, or where the Board of Elections building is. This will become a laydown area for the supplies that will build that.
Or a staging area.
Addition. Late summer, we're going to start seeing a building come about here. In that first phase, they're going to be digging out, getting that foundation ready and for that lay down staging area. Then late next summer, we're actually going to start seeing a building. We've programmed that building now. It's a 4-story building with a story of parking underneath. There's going to be 9 courtrooms in that building. So you'll see a large amount of courtrooms that will be built over here, which, like I say, will allow us to use this more of offices. But we've got some antiquated courtrooms over here. They're not big enough. They don't have proper sound. None of them have video, those kind of things. So we're going to be moving that. We'll bring the jury lounge over here also in this new building that will serve both buildings. Are
they going to be attached? Will this building be attached to the courthouse or to the...
It will be attached to life safety. What we'll have is a brand new entrance where you'll come in, go through security, either straight for you, in front of you will be the new courtrooms, or you'll basically turn around and take a right and go into the courthouse to see the register, see the clerk of court, or any of those
court things.
Clerk.
That is wonderful. We've needed this for a long time.
Part of this whole renovations with the register of deeds moving out is the clerk of court will expand. So his operation is from the basement to the top.
It is.
That will allow him to consolidate better. We'll get the public defender down. That will be consolidated better.
All much public friendly. Much more.
Like I say, you won't have to walk in here and say, well, which way do I go? You know, we'll have an information center right there also. So.
And if you come to pay your taxes, you're not mixing with people who have come to court for one reason.
No, you go in the parking deck, step out, walk in, pay your taxes, step back out, get in your car and leave. And
so what you're saying is, when they get this new court complex is going to connect to the detention and to the courthouse, and there's going to be a new entrance?
Yeah, if I come in, I can either go to the new courts building, which I mentioned before is 9 new courtrooms, or I can turn to the right, I can go see the clerk of court, I can go pay a fine. You know, I can do anything that the court's function will be in the old building. So
it'll have a whole new complex kind of look, much more public friendly.
Yeah, you won't come into the side entrance on the courthouse. You're going to come into a main entrance to the court facility.
What will they do
here on College Street
with the side then? Because you said a few minutes ago all this area right here was going to come down. I can't wait to see that. But the side entrance and the front entrance will still just be closed off?
They'll
Okay.
still be there. They'll serve a purpose of, in case there's a fire, there's an exit way out.
Right.
But there'll be, like I say, a distinctive entrance that will come into the courthouse that will be on College Street.
That is so much better.
Yeah, with it.
And with tax out, people don't have to wander into the courthouse trying to pay their taxes and mingling with people who are worried about, I got to go to court. Now they go to 35 Woodfin, they've got the convenient deck. That is so much better.
It will be, without a doubt.
So this will be really a whole court judicial complex. So
It
this
will be.
area right here is going to have a whole new face.
Yeah, so, you know, the existing courthouse is tied into the detention center. This new courts addition will be tied into the detention center. There will be, you know, passageways for the prisoners to move without being intermingled with the public or anybody else. And the same thing with the judges, and the DA will be able to move without having to get in with the public also.
And you said there would be parking under this building, I'm sure, for judges and employees,
That's correct.
and then public across in our wonderful deck.
Yeah, I mean, you got the convenience of, you know, 150 feet
Yeah.
away, you've got, you know, 7 stories of parking. So
Yeah, I know the jurors are happy with that over there now. This building here it's kind of in front of us, and we'll show you at home. You said it's going to come down, but tell me what you were telling me about the brick on it.
Well, you know, this is definitely an old building. You know, we're going to be putting it out to bid for demolition this month in October, and what we're looking at is a contractor that's going to try to recycle as much of that building. I mean, as you can see, it's got nice woodwork in it. It's made of vitreous brick, which they don't make that anymore.
What do you say?
Vitreous brick. And it's just a type of brick that's not made anymore.
Okay.
So we're looking for, obviously it's got copper gutters and things like that, but I think there's a lot of architectural things that can be used on the building that can go to other places and be part of, you know, downtown.
That is too cool. So you're all just going to flatten it and take it and dump it in the landfill?
Our objective is not to do that. It's not.
Good.
We want to try to find somebody that's going to try to salvage as much as they possibly can.
Oh, I think that is really cool. Anybody at home interested in that, they can give you a call?
Sure, sure. We should know the contractors, well, you know, here at any time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you're interested in any of the old history here, and that building is old, it's been here my whole life.
It is.
Then you can give us a call. Now, one other thing before we finish up I want to ask you about the safety training facility out on the old landfill. Going to break ground for that pretty soon. What is that? I know nobody at home has heard about this one.
We're building a public safety training facility, as you mentioned. It's on a 30-acre tract out at the entrance if you go to the state prison off of River Road. Out by our old landfill. We've taken part of the land that was not used in the landfill and turned it into a facility for training. It's basically for all emergency type vehicles, whether they're police, whether they're firemen, whether ambulances. One part of it is a driving course, and then the other section of it is be used by the fire departments, all our volunteer fire departments, and run by AB Tech, of where you go in and you train. I mean, you train if it's a house fire, if it's a trailer fire, if it's a gas, like a gas line fire. If it's a high story, there's going to be multi-story facilities out there that I can train on how to put out. If I'm a fireman and it's pitch black dark and there's smoke, how do I get around in a room that's got all sorts of things in it? So other counties have these. We don't have anything like this in Western North Carolina.
So we will attract people from all over.
Yeah, and there's a very, very high interest from all our public officials about this being a great thing. So we've taken the steps to build that.
And a great reuse of that land out there that's just sitting there.
It's just part of an old landfill. So they're moving dirt now. It's a 6-month project. We're going to be moving about 500,000 yards of dirt around on the site. And then we'll come in and build those components for the fire department that I was mentioning, where you come in and be able to put out, have a car fire, railroad car fire, those kind of things.
That is too cool. So I think that's a very exciting project and really great for our area and for training. People don't have to go off and learn it. They can learn it right here.
That's right.
So the face of downtown is changing. You're going to watch it and you learn it here. You can know what's going on. That's changing out there. And I want you to stay tuned because next we're going to take a walk through with Ed Sheary of the new library, and you can see it first here. So stay tuned.
That's it.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
Welcome back. I hope you've stayed tuned. I hope you've watched the first part of Buncombe Life. If that's what you're watching. And I'm here at Pack Library downtown, which you know has been closed for a while. I'm here with Ed Sheary, who's our library director, and guess what? It's getting close, isn't it, Ed?
It is getting close. We closed on February 13th. We're going to open this fall. We're still saying by Thanksgiving, but we're working hard to beat that, and I think we will.
We would love for the time that you're watching this that the library's already open, but if it's not, we're going to give you a tour today. So you're going to see it up close and personal before the first people get to come in.
Indeed.
Oh, cool. So even where we're standing is different. Now, I've been to the library my whole life through high school, came up here. This entryway from the parking deck behind us through to Haywood Street, it's always been a through, and you could just walk right into the library. I see glass here.
There is glass here. We made the entryway larger, and part of that was for energy conservation. There was a gate, like a shopping mall gate, when they close up the mall. So when the doors were open to the outside of the garage, it was like a chimney that just sucked the heat out of the building. So now we're going to have real front doors. It also allowed us to make our security desk right where I'm standing, and we'll have a little bit better control of who's coming out of the building, because we want to make sure you've checked out your materials and you're not just walking out without us knowing about it.
That's true, and I can remember even back in when the library first opened up here, there was some security, but we've heightened security over the years, and that is something that you guys are very in tune to.
Yes, the security is, we want the public to feel first and foremost that they're safe when they come to the downtown library. So we have a wonderful security guard named Steve Fazio. And Steve is one of those people, he just knows everybody. So he talks to you when you come in. If you got a question, he's a good first stop. He'll tell you where things are in the building. But he keeps an eye on things. And if we have somebody who might be not wanting to be a good library patron, he probably knows who they are before they get in the door.
Yeah, and I think that's good for you to know. It's a great place to come, and you're going to get to see it. So let's walk on in here, and you can show me what we've changed.
All right.
Okay, we've walked around the corner, and now we're here looking. This, now help me remember, this used to be books where we're standing here. The shelves are still here. What have you changed?
Well, the main floor has changed quite a bit. The first thing for our regular customers, the book collection is pretty much in the same general areas it was. So to my left is still the fiction collection, and to my right is the nonfiction collection. But we've totally changed the way the shelves are arranged. So we've put much longer runs of shelving and put them closer together. And what that enabled us to do was have actually a little more book shelving up here than we had before, but it occupies less of the building's square footage. So we've got more open areas for people to sit and work on computers. And
that's why it looks like there's not as much here, but actually there's more here.
There's actually more on this floor than there was before.
And what is back over here over my shoulder is a glassed off section. That it's actually pretty in there, but what is that?
That is going to be the Friends of the Library bookstore, and it's also a lounge area. And what that means, there'll be some comfortable chairs in there. You've got a great view out onto Haywood Street, and you'll be able to shop in our used bookstore and hopefully have a good time and make a little money for the Friends of the Library.
Anybody can go in there?
Anybody can go in there.
Okay, so it's not like a private lounge for the friends?
No, it is not a private lounge. And
Okay.
it'll be open most of the time the library's open.
But you can buy stuff if you want.
But you can buy stuff.
I love that. That's cool. They usually have T-shirts and bags and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
we'll no doubt have the bags. Those are the
Good.
most popular things that they sell.
They are. Now, we're going to walk down this way, and I just want the folks to see what you just showed me, which is spectacular. A little uncovered thing.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Okay, you're still following us now? We've come around the corner. We're in the stacks here. But what I'm looking at, and you guys will see in a minute, this view wasn't here. Well, it was here, but...
Yes, the view was here, but it was hidden. And one of the design objectives in working on this floor was to try to make PAC feel more like one of the branch libraries.
Yeah.
So we set the stacks on an angle. So if you've been to the North Asheville branch or the Leicester branch, you will see that same thing. And when we started laying out the stacks, it all looked good on paper, and so we went ahead and had them put up that way, and then we discovered we had uncovered this view.
Oh.
And it's a view both to the north and to the west, and this was totally blocked off in the old arrangement. So this just naturally is going to open up as a seating area, and we're very near where the new newspapers and magazines are. So we think this will be a very comfortable spot. Come in on your lunch hour and take it easy for a while and catch up on the news.
It is. It's just beautiful. The light is great. The view is great. The area, lots of area here. You guys, when it's open, you got to come down and see it. Another thing I want to show, you do have Wi-Fi here.
We do have Wi-Fi throughout the building.
That's
and
good.
So if you come in with your own laptop or other wireless device, all you need is a library card because you log on to the network with your card.
Okay. And they've got cool chairs. These are really cool chairs. You could put your laptop on. We're going to show you one in just a minute. Okay, check it out. Look at this. You just sit here in your little chair, have your little laptop table, right, Ed?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, look at this one. This is a little different. This one's got a little thing under here. It's got rollers on it. That doesn't have rollers on it.
Now, we've got two different chairs. The one on my left is a little bit larger. The one on the right actually has a compartment underneath. You can stash your books or your laptop case. And I've also got bought a few lefties, so if you're left-handed, you're not going to be left out of this.
Yeah, and these will be all over the place?
We're scattering those around the building just so if you want to sit down and either take notes as you're about to do on paper or use your laptop, you're ready to go.
Yeah,
and you can be relatively comfortable.
It's very comfortable. Are you ready to go downstairs?
I think we are, but I did want to point out before we go, there's a 3-story tower that went on the north side of this building, and we're looking at the Vanderbilt immediately behind me, and that tower is fire escape and restrooms. So for the first time, you will actually have public restrooms on the main floor of PAC Library. You won't have to go downstairs.
That is a big improvement.
We think this may be the biggest improvement in the whole building.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ed. Are you ready? Let's go.
All right.
I do like that table. I want one of those at home.
Yeah.
Okay, we're still on the main floor. This is definitely new.
This is definitely new. We've got about 60 feet of desk. And this was done locally by Forest Millwork right in Asheville.
Cool.
And it was designed by Keith Hargrove Architects. And what we tried to do, again, trying to make PAC work more like a branch, there's only one desk. And so you don't have to decide, do I need to go to the reference desk or do I need to go to the circulation desk?
Oh, it's all
right
one
here.
desk.
It's all one desk.
Thank you.
And any member of the staff can serve you.
Yeah, so if I wanted to check
if
out a
you want
book.
to check that out, you can do it here. If you want to know something about Elizabeth Gilbert and does she look anything like, what's her name, the movie star?
Yeah.
I
can find out.
You can find out. The reference librarians will still be here, so if you have a more involved question, they'll help you there either in person or on phone. And everybody who works here behind this glass wall will at least have their own workspace. And that's something I hope the staff will really appreciate, because we had people sharing desks and cubby holes for years.
Well, and this is a great addition for the public too, because I never knew where to go. I never knew, should I ask those people or these people? So now it's one section.
One place, and when we figure out who can help you, if anyone can, then you won't have to do the wandering around. We're going to do that.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, let's see some more.
All right, let's go downstairs.
Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa. This looks good.
Well,
this is completely different.
It is. We're in the children's room, and the children's room is still in the same place, but everything is different.
Oh my gosh.
Almost all of it is new.
But you know what I would do if I was a kid? You know the first thing I would do after I ran for the pillows on the couch? Grab all these books.
That's what they're there for.
They are all at my level there.
Yep.
That is so cool. Oh man. Now tell me what is different other than it's all different.
It's all different. And what under the old building, we had the desk you actually checked out was here, and there was a small workspace. And then when you came into the room itself, there was a glass wall to my right, and that was the story time space. And that's all gone, and we've opened up the entire room, and we've built a teen area that's down at the back.
You've got to come with us. You've got to see these chairs back here. That is too cool.
So little kids' books to my left.
Yeah.
Then you go up into school age.
Playland.
You've got a playland, and that's a puppet theater.
Is it really?
Yes, and also a good place for kids to hide out when they want to get away from their parents down here. I think we'll have fun with that.
Oh yeah.
And we've got lots of comfortable chairs. We've got some chairs that are big enough for a parent to sit in with one or two kids.
Yeah.
They're double wide.
This is great. Well, now, where will they do story time?
Story time is going to be across the hall, and we'll look at that in just a minute.
Okay, cool. Let's go this way first. Okay, Ed, you got to tell me about the chairs.
Well,
I'm a little too old to be in the chair, but I'm telling you, the chair is very comfortable. This is the teen section, right?
We're in the teen section, and one of the things we're trying to do is create a corner where they're going to feel comfortable, and those chairs are part of that. The trick is, can you get out of it? And we promise we won't film that.
Okay, well, I can try.
But this floor, like the upstairs, will have wireless, and a lot of kids today are walking around with laptops. Some of the schools are getting ready to start issuing them laptops. So instead of carrying that bag with, 20 pounds of books in it, pretty soon almost all of that's going to be done by carrying around a laptop or other electronic device. So similar to upstairs, we've got some comfortable chairs. We've got some booth-type seating.
Yeah.
A little bit of socializing will certainly be tolerated here. But again, just trying to make everybody comfortable. And outside, we're just now starting on landscaping. We've got a little bit of a garden area out there. We're right below Haywood Street, but you can walk out of here and be outside in the fresh air.
Wow, that is so cool. I love this. This is a great area. Now, before we leave this part, though, I've got to go see the puppet theater because that just looked too good.
We got to go see the puppet theater.
We must. Okay, Ed, now we've come over here to this cool section where the little kids can come play. But you got to explain to me, this is too good.
Well, it can kind of be anything you want it to be. It's made to be a puppet theater.
Well, yeah, look back here. There is tons of these little things.
You've got puppets.
Yes.
And the kids are welcome to go inside and put on a show. We also figure it'll be a nice place just for, if you're a young child, you want to get away in a corner and have a quiet place to settle down with a book and read a while. And we'll probably have a few parents go into a panic because they can't find their kid. And let's say, well, did you look in the puppet theater?
That's right. And they've got all these back here in the corner. That is just too good. So any kid can come in here and just play in this. You don't have to have permission to come over here or anything?
No, it's open. It's intended for them to be able to come in and have their own place and have some fun and have some privacy.
This is just too good. Now, this whole section right here is for what age group?
This is really little kids, preschoolers.
Little kids.
And so the picture books.
And these little chairs.
The easy books. So this is for everybody from the time they just about quit crawling and can get up and toddle around up to preschool. So the reading level here very gradually goes up to preschool age.
Well, now, I don't think I ever saw this before. This is new.
It's brand new.
Oh, this
Pretty
is
much
great.
everything over here is new. I love these chairs because this is big enough for a parent to
it
get
is.
in with 1 or 2, maybe even 3 kids.
Oh, yeah. And read them a book.
Just sit down, have a nice quiet time.
Play with the
sharing a book
puppets.
together, playing with the puppets.
Oh, they're great. I just love it. This one is too good. I just love that. That is too good. Let me see. Oh, here's another good one. Look at this one. I don't know where you. Oh, he's a doggy. He's the doggy. The doggy. He's cute. Oh, wait. There's got to be another one. Let's see. Ooh, a dinosaur. I wonder how you do this one. Oh, he's too good. That's good. They got a chicken and a parrot and a monkey. Now, everybody loves monkeys. Let me get my hands in here. Oh, he's the monkey. We've come out of the children's fantastic room in there. We are now in, this looks new. This is new?
Yeah, this is new because you were outside before.
Oh.
And on this building, the main floor actually overhangs the lower floor. And so we took that overhang and paved it and glassed it in and made a corridor.
So all this is new, and there's
All
that
this is
tower
new.
you talked about.
And then there's the 3-story tower that has fire escape and restrooms is on our left. So this essentially is the new construction part of the project.
That's very nice. Now, what is this glassed-in room?
Well, that's the new children's activity room. We expanded the children's department that we just left
Right.
into what had been their story time space. So we made a new room for programs across the hall.
So story time will be over here?
Story time will be over here, and also this room will be available to book out for small meetings of one sort or another.
Oh,
So
wow,
we can
that'll be
use it
nice.
for a variety of purposes, because the big Lord Auditorium is next door.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 200-person room. This is about a nice 50-person room.
Oh, that's perfect. Well, now, let's walk down to here. There's another room, another glass room right next to this one. What is this one for?
All right, coming up on our right is the Gates Computer Lab, and we'll use this for staff training, training with other county departments, and also we teach some basic internet and word processing classes to the public, so that's where we'll do it.
That is perfect. And then on in front of us here is the North Carolina room. and
On
that's
in
where
front
we're
of us
going.
is the North Carolina room,
Okay.
and we're heading down to, there's another entrance here. This can be used for special events and programs. Otherwise, it'll just be emergency exits. But in this corridor, the North Carolina staff will do some displays, and they've already got their first one up. And this is on the founding of the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Cool. The smell in here is wonderful. It smells, you know what it reminds me of? When you're in kindergarten or in elementary school and you go to the library and it's from one of your first experiences in the library. That's the smell in this room.
Well, this is, there's a lot of old books in this room. This is the North Carolina room. It's home to our special collections, and those include the local history collection and the Thomas Wolfe collection.
All right.
Really, our specialty is in Western North Carolina history, so that's the area that this collection focuses on. But it's also where we tried to recreate a bit of the old library. The tables, which unfortunately are covered at the moment, we're unpacking our art collection right now, so we're protecting the tabletops as we do that. But most of the furniture in this room came out of the Pack Library on Pack Square.
And it's beautiful. For no other reason, you've got to come down to Pack and come down to this room and see it when it's all uncovered. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, there's some beautiful stuff in here.
Look at these chairs.
Well, these chairs are actually out of the Buncombe County Courthouse. So these are circa 1928. We just had these refinished, and they're gorgeous.
They are beautiful. Well, that, in addition to the front of this, you need to tell us about the front of this.
This desk, the front part of this desk was fortunately saved. This was the circulation desk at Pack Library on Pack Square. And so it sat, if you go in the Asheville Art Museum front door now, you can see worn in the marble floor of the Art Museum the outline of this desk, where for generations people stood both in front and back of the desk checking out their books. we essentially took the shell of that desk and had a new desk built inside it. But we're very proud of this, and that's to us one of the most important pieces of local and the library's history.
And it fits in here so well with the beautiful tables and the chairs. And you got to tell the folks at home this story about this is one of the old Pack library chairs.
Yeah, this chair, these square back chairs, were bought in 1925 for Pack Library on Pack Square. They were made by the Library Bureau Company, which actually made that desk and a lot of the furniture that was in the library. A couple of things about this are kind of cool. One, it's small, and it gives you an idea that over the years we got a little bigger.
I think we have.
So we're going to have to be careful to have some larger chairs than these chairs for our patrons. But one of my furniture vendors that came through here was looking at them, and he said, do you know what that is on the bottom? You can see there are 3 stretchers across the bottom of the chair. And I said, well, I've never seen one made that way. Well, he took off his hat, slid it under there, and said, well, that's to put your hat. Well, that made sense, because in the 1920s, almost every gentleman wore a hat.
It makes total sense. If you'd asked me, I thought, well, that's to put your books.
Yep.
But why would you need that? So that makes total sense. So that's a 1920 chair.
1920s, and
Well, it looks sure in good shape for 1920.
so we've been gradually these we have not refinished. We've just been sort of cleaning these up a little bit. But we're very happy to have so much of this old furniture. The other thing that's kind of cool is over here in the corner. All right, if you're, I don't know, maybe much under 40 years old, there's a good chance you don't know what this is. This is a card catalog.
I hate to give it away. I'm very familiar with the card catalog. That fits with the smell of this room. It's like when I used to come to Pack Library the first time I came. We went to the card catalog.
Yep, exactly. This is how for generations you found things. Thousands of hand-typed catalog cards. This is not just an artifact, it actually is the catalog for this collection. Now, admittedly, we haven't updated it since the early 1990s, but this collection is relatively slow growing. So there is reason to search it, because sometimes you search cards differently than you do on a computer. This may lead you to something that you otherwise would have missed.
Absolutely. Baby, you've just got to come see it, especially for young folks who've never. You just need to realize how we did it before computers.
That's right.
And that's not been that long ago.
No, we actually retired our card catalogs in 1994 was the last time they were updated.
That was just yesterday.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you kept it. Ed, this is great. So folks can, when you get the library open, they can come down here and check out the North Carolina collection. They can see the furniture. They can have access to these books, but there's some in here they have to ask permission to see.
There are indeed. There is a glassed-in room behind us that is the archive.
That's a big room.
And it's about the same size as this room, but what is back there are the materials, the manuscripts, some of the more fragile and rare materials. Those are available, but you have to ask, and one of the librarians will go back, probably wearing white gloves, and bring it out to you, and you can use it at these tables.
Wow, but you can have access to it.
You can have access to it.
That is too cool. Well, thank you for showing us this room. Now we've got one more stop, and that is the Lord Auditorium.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Okay, we have made it now next door to where we just were, still downstairs, in the Lord Auditorium. Now this has been here for a long time.
Yeah, Lord Auditorium is our big meeting room, and this room's good for up to 200 people.
Okay.
We use it for larger library programs. It's also available. You can book it out for a nonprofit group, can book it for $10. So we get a lot of public use, community use of this room. We also use it on occasion for exhibits, and right now it's being used as sort of the delivery depot.
I can tell.
As new furniture has come into the building, we bring it in here, unpack it, and then send it off to where it's going. A lot of what's here now is older furniture that's going to go to the county surplus sale on Gov Deals.
There you go. So if you need some of this stuff you see behind me, you better check out Gov Deals.
It'll probably be up there within a couple of weeks.
But when you get the room ready for folks, it'll be, I know there used to be a stage in here. Used to be a piano in here.
Well, the piano is, we have a wonderful Steinway grand piano. WCQS has been using that.
Oh.
They have actual performance hall at the radio station. We won't bring that back here till sometime after the first of the year. The big stage that used to be here, we took out because we wanted to turn the room around. The room was sort of backwards, so you had the stage here where you actually came into the room. So we're going to reorient the room to the other end. Okay. We took out the old projection booth that was there.
Right.
We'll now have a projector that'll hang in the ceiling that we can bring down to use for both movies and any kind of PowerPoint presentations. Yeah. And we'll have just a simple platform portable stage that we can bring in if we want to have a stage.
Okay.
But we think the room will generally be more useful without that stage.
What a great space for people to continue using. This whole library is just going to be amazing. But when do you think you're going to be open?
Well, we're telling everybody that we'll be open by Thanksgiving. I think we're going to beat it. And how much? At this point, we're getting the books back in the building.
They are.
We're bringing the staff slowly back in from the branch libraries. So one of these days, not too far away, you'll see the signs, the closed signs come off the windows upstairs, and we'll be open.
And we will let you know. So you need to stay tuned, at least by Thanksgiving though, so that's something for you to put on your calendar. But you need to hang with me just another minute, and I'll tell you what's coming up next month. I'm so glad you're still with us, because as we came out of Lord Auditorium, this we ran into, and Ed's still here, so I said, hang on, you got to tell me about this. I knew Catherine Case. She was the bookmobile lady for 50 years?
50 years.
50 years she drove the bookmobile, and this mural is incredible. It's incredible for two reasons. It's about Catherine, but it was painted by somebody here.
This mural was painted as a memorial to Catherine by Jean Lohr, who's one of our part-time children's librarians. And Jean, by profession, is an illustrator of children's books, so she's a professional. But Catherine was a fixture here from 1939 up through the mid-1990s. And she drove the very first bookmobile that went on the roads in Buncombe County in 1939, and she drove the very last bookmobile that we took off the road about 10 years ago. So Catherine is somebody that probably everybody who grew up in rural Buncombe County knew.
That's right.
And this mural really tries to just sort of set a scene of what a typical bookmobile stop would have been. Catherine is the woman in the pink checkered dress toward the left of the mural. It shows the very first bookmobile, which you can see you didn't actually go on the bookmobile, you stood beside it. They actually raised the doors, and there were the books on shelves. So this was really, for many years, there were no branch libraries in the county. There were a few community libraries, like in Black Mountain and Weaverville, but outside of downtown Asheville, there was no library service.
Well, you just couldn't, people then just didn't hop in the car and come down to downtown Asheville. They didn't have a branch library. They didn't get a book without Catherine bringing the bookmobile.
That's right. So for all those 50 years, Catherine and the bookmobile prowled the back roads of Buncombe County.
That is just so cool. Now, you've got to, when you come to PAC, you've got to stop and look at this, and you will see Ed in the mural. He's there right outside the bookmobile at the back, holding a VHS tape.
Well, that's a little incongruous for the time period, but that's Jean's sense of humor that went into that. And I'm actually holding a copy of the movie Thunder Road, which is one of my favorites, and that movie was shot here in Buncombe County in 1957.
There you go. It's just, the longer you look at it, the more you see. So I encourage you to come out and check this out, check out the library, and to stay tuned to Buncombe Life next month, when you're not going to believe the places we're going to go. We're going to talk about cancer screening, CFO bulbs, rehab funds. We are all over the map next time, so make sure you tune back in. Thank you, Ed, for this tour of the library. It's been killer fun.
Thank you, Kathy. We'll see you when we open.
All right.